I love the sound of that. That means we're about ready to deliver some impactful content. Good morning. Welcome to Friday. Pretty cool day. Lots going on. I'm Steve Nudelberg. That is Shay Money. Shay runs the board for us. Shay, man, 10 plus years. Thank you for being my co-pilot. You continue to over-deliver, and I love you for that. Very special Friday the 9th, 26 years ago, somebody came into my life and ultimately changed it forever, all for the good. He's my son, my friend, my partner, my wingman. I love this dude, and I am absolutely thrilled to spend the day with him. We are, as a team, we're going out to play some golf, drink some beers, and then we're having dinner as a family tonight. So I just legitimately, truly had dinner or had drinks with a friend last night. Hadn't seen him in years. And he goes, how is it possible that you stay so positive? He goes, you constantly, effuse that. Look at what I get to work with every day. Just amazing. So happy birthday to Jake. Reach out to him. Let him know you love him like I do. So awesome stuff. My favorite day of the week is Friday because I get to do Huddler in the hot seat. I get to share the screen this morning with my friend, fellow entrepreneur, the guy who makes me dress the way I do or helps me dress the way I do, Mr. Bob Goldfarb. Before we do that, I figured I'd start out with a little something to get it going because it's Friday then.
Mufasa, you know we finally here, right?
Well,
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday again, it's Saturday, Sunday.
Let's go. What? No, you did.
All right, man. You may notice that I had a wardrobe change. This is another of the many It's a Goldfarb that I own, I wear, and I love.
I don't know if we have a long enough show to go through all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. I mean, Bob and I just met recently, purchased a tuxedo, and I gave away like 10 blazers, and you wouldn't even know it in my closet, but I'm thrilled to be able to give them away. Before we jump in with Bob, as always, every day now, we do a daily affirmation. I will read you this affirmation, Shay. Confidence flows through every fiber of my being. I trust in my abilities and I believe in my capacity to overcome challenges. I carry myself with assurance, grounded in the certainty that I possess the strength and resilience needed to face any situation. I guarantee you, Patrick Mahomes is saying that to himself today, tomorrow, and when he hits the field, because I am betting on the Chiefs. So, Shay, wake this thing up. Let's get going. Let's do wake-up music, then unbelievable walk-up music, and then we will spend time with my buddy, Bob Goldfarb.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Come on. Things said, lose you, and I don't know
If there was ever a
Oh,
song,
wait, don't stop. Wait, okay, we got it.
and you may notice that I am on my third Goldfarb today. That'll be the end of the distraction, if you will. Bob Goldfarb, welcome to Huddler in a Hot Seat. You are, and you have been, an original Huddler, correct?
I am an original Huddler, and good morning, Huddlers. Always great to see you on the Huddle in the morning. I love seeing all my friends that I now have since joining the Huddle 2 years ago. I think it is almost 3. Almost 3. So, so good morning. Hi.
So welcome aboard. Let's give people a taste of just how long you and I know each other, because we know each other from way before you were doing, men's tailored clothing.
Absolutely. So we met a little over 32. Well, I've been in Florida 32 years. And so we met a little close to 32 years ago by our close dear friend Mark Gardner, introduced us at a Heat game, believe it or not, back then. And we stayed in touch over the years. And we did it either by sending a note or eventually through social media. And then one day I walk into Johan Joe's in West Palm Beach and I look in the corner and there's, fuck yes, this Steve Nudelberg. What the hell is he doing here? So, and that was about 5-6 years ago, I think. Anyway, so here we are. And
actually, as a reminder, it was almost closer to 9 years ago, because I was speaking and started to realize that I could make an impact with the way I dressed on stage. And you had ventured into this new journey, which you're going to share with us. But I remember, like, wow, this is super cool. I can pick my fabrics. I can pick my, the buttons, the insides. I can do it all. So I know you've been an entrepreneur a couple of times. When we met, you were not in the clothing business. So in a minute, if you can, just give us some backdrop as to how entrepreneurial you've been and how many times you've reinvented yourself.
Okay. Well, my entrepreneurial spirit started when I was 14, delivering the New York Post in the Bronx. And so I always loved sales. I always felt comfortable in sales because I felt comfortable with people. I felt comfortable having conversations with people and learning about people and just developing relationships. And I think the backbone to me has always been relationships, building relationships in any way that I could. And that has changed actually over the years because of the advent of technology, because I was at the forefront of advent of technology, and then it came into social media, and now it's a lot of face to face. So I'm a big believer in developing that sales skill, and I'm a consultative salesperson. I always ask the why. I want to know the why behind everything that I'm dealing with for the salesperson. So that's basically who I am as a salesman.
I love it, and it's so valid. Legitimately, I have introduced you to many, many people, and never once did I get a big thank you on the other side. Hey, thank you for introducing me to Bob. These great people. And it was never an introduction with any ask. It was, hey, you should know Bob, and if you something can happen there. So great stuff. So let's talk sort of near term. Men are the worst customers as it comes to fashion and buying things. Usually it's the female or the partner in the relationship that makes that decision. Yet you chose to get into a business and focus on and especially at a time when suits were going, the wayside. So talk to us about what got you into the clothing business.
So actually what got me in the clothing business, my father's best friend in the Bronx was this guy named Sharkey, who owned a place called Fox Menswear. And on Saturdays, my dad would take me there and just put me in a chair and say, watch all these guys, watch how they sell, watch the clothing, see what's happening. And he did that. And in 7th grade, I was the only one who wore Italian knits to junior high school. So, that was pretty cool. And then when I was 18, I went to work for Cy Sims. Everybody might remember Sims Clothing.
I did not know that you worked for Cy Sims,
I did.
because that's where an educated customer
Educated consumer is our best customer.
Right.
And Cy taught me the business, really. He taught me about fabric. He taught me mostly about fit, which is the most important thing. And he taught me how to deal with clients. He taught me the biggest skill of any is listening. You have to listen to what the client has to say and then work with the client around that. So that was my love of clothing. And so when I transitioned, and when I moved to LA, I moved to LA in 1974. I was in the restaurant business for about 4 years, ended up managing a steakhouse. And then a friend of mine was in the recruiting business, and he said, I think you'd be a really good recruiter, and you'd probably make a hell of a lot more money and work a lot less if you were in recruiting. So I did that, went to a recruiting firm, and 4 years later, I started my own firm and had my own firm for over 20 years in Silicon Valley, working in high tech. So I was at the forefront of all the new technology that was coming out and helping those companies develop all that new technology.
Love it. So you decide to open up this business. So starting from scratch is a tremendous endeavor. I mean, most people candidly don't have the stomach for it. The odds of succeeding more than 3 to 5 years weigh against you. So you decided to jump in that pool. I was fortunate early on to experience it, because what you did for me was help me develop my style, my voice as it pertains to what I was wearing, how I was wearing it. And I think it's one of the more significant things I want you to talk about is the way I dress is not necessarily the same for somebody else, because they
Absolutely.
wouldn't feel comfortable in it. So talk us through that consultative thing that you do, because God, you walk down the street now and you can almost tell it's a Goldfarb.
Well, thank you. Yes. So the biggest thing is, again, find out the why. When I'm sitting with a client, why are they ordering clothes right now? They need it for business. Do they need it for an event? Do they just need a change? Have they lost weight, gained weight? So it's all about that. So first we sit down and find out why they're doing it, and how much do they need. I am not somebody who walks in and says, I have a goal, I'm going to sell 5 suits. I have a goal that I'm going to work with this client, and if they buy a shirt, that's okay. But I want them to know that I'm there for them. It's not about me. And as you mentioned, I dress people for them, not for me. I don't. It's not about me. It's about that person, that business that they're in, who they're going to be talking to on a regular basis, and who's going to see them in that outfit. So we pick fabric first, we pick the lining, we pick the buttons, we pick the stitching.
Not an easy thing to do, by the way, man. It's overwhelming.
It takes time. It's not like boom, boom, boom. And then we talk about everything. We talk about lapels. We talk about pockets. We talk about everything like that. And then we put it all together. And then I measure and I leave. So I kind of lead the client. I don't sell the client. I lead the client. And
I think that's really well said. And I'll give some people a real. So I'm going to a wedding at the Breakers in March. I called you up and I said, I don't have my old tuxedo. It was beat up and torn and tattered. Can you get me a tuxedo? Yes. And then when we sat down to go over it, you gave me the range of how to buy a tuxedo. And for me, this was not a place I wanted to, flash or, show my fashion muscles. I said to you, I want to look like Cary Grant, and you were like, got it. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. You gave me options on things that I could add. And I think we said no to most of it. I wanted traditional. I wanted hanging in my closet. So we have great fabric all the way down to the shirts and so you do great stuff, but there's so much I want to talk to you about. So two main things that I have found with successful people are number one, they are committed to giving back. And philanthropy is a big thing. You know that. You live that. Many of the people that you dress live that. So speak to me about your commitment to philanthropy. You've been a part of Uno right from the get-go. When I took it over, boom, I said, hey, I need you to be involved. And you've given suits and dressings. And so speak to us about philanthropy.
Okay, so giving back is very important to me. And some of it has been driven by, so I'm going to be really open here. I have a 39-year-old daughter who is a crystal meth addict in LA. She has been an addict for 22 years. And in the last 14 years, she's had 6 kids that were all taken away by the state, put in the foster care system, and eventually adopted. So thankfully, they are adopted. But my daughter, who is presently in prison for grand theft auto, is still an addict. And so the way I give back is I've been working with 2 agencies, mostly over the last 10 years. The Hanley Foundation, which does education into kids.
And they do an amazing job. They do amazing work.
Yeah, so it's all schools, community centers, churches, synagogues, etc., teaching kids about addiction. So my theory is if I can prevent one kid from not being an addict like my daughter, then I've done something good. And so that's why I do Hanley. And then the other one is Place of Hope, which is really my biggest one. And Place of Hope is a fostering agency. They take in kids at the middle of the night when the county calls and says, we have no place to put these kids. Let's take them. They have 350 kids under their auspices, and as well as multiple parents that take kids in. And because of the kids that my daughter had and ended up in the fostering system in California, so those are the 2 ways I gave back to both my daughter and my grandkids that I'll probably never see. That's how I give back to that, because that's purpose, that's passion, and I feel really good about giving back. Now, there's many other agencies that I work with also, but those are the 2 major ones, and I get a tremendous amount of joy. So the other night we did a Place of Hope gala. I put up a package for $2,500 with a suit and shirts and etc. And I work with Neil Saffer, who's probably the best auctioneer out there. And we worked the room, and within 2 minutes, that package was $10,000 in raising for. And then Trisha, his wife, comes up to me and says, "Would you do 2?" And I said, "Do it. Let's do it." So I raised $20,000.
So I am so grateful for your candor and vulnerability and things of that nature. Sharing that story with all the people here really shows the heart that you have. The second thing, besides philanthropy, and we're just as committed as well. Now that Mark is running the company and doing all the day-to-day, I have instilled in him. That's our thing. I think leaders should give back to their community in time, talent, and treasures. So you do all of that. But I posted about this the other day as it relates to Helen, and I believe that you're having an unbelievable partner is really, really significant. And I shared with everybody openly that Helen has made me better in every facet of my life. You have a lady that has made you better. And the more time we get to spend with her, she is the sweetest, most incredible human. So speak to your relationship, 25 years married to Donna.
Yeah, we met her on about 27 years ago. We met her on a blind date. It was set up by a friend of hers who was trying to make amends because she set her up with her first husband, which didn't work out. So she set her up with me. And we had 1 date, 2 dates, 3 dates. And I knew that she was the one. I was her only date after she got divorced. So I took her off the market quickly. Yes, we've been married 25 years. We've had many challenges in those 25 years, obviously because of my daughter, our kids, et cetera, but that we have built strength because of that. We have been each other's partner, companion, friend for 25 years. And because of that, we can overcome any challenge that comes to us. And we have, and I have to tell you that we're living the best years of our lives right now.
It shows. It
You
shows.
know,
I mean, we had, and I'll share this publicly. When people go out with me, I learned from my grandfather, just take care of the check ahead of time, and there's no squabbling, whatever. So we had dinner recently at my favorite place, Abe and Louie's, and wouldn't you know it? I go to tell my waiter, I'm there all the time, and I said, Robert, I said, just make sure you don't mess up this, and he goes, he beat you to it. So um, being around you guys, and I've noticed this, being around people who have healthy relationships rubs off. And so you really are a shining example of respect for each other and genuine love. So that's awesome. So we talked about philanthropy.
Just one last thing. And now Donna is working with me as my partner, doing a lot of the back end stuff, which really allows me to be out more with clients, which obviously increases business. So it's been a great relationship. We work well together, and that works well. So I just wanted to inject that.
So Mark had asked a question, which is in here, and he says, how do you gauge, or how do you get a gauge of someone's style and guide them? How does that come to fruition? Because there's some people who just don't know it on their own.
Right. So I try to meet people in their home if I can. I get a look at their wardrobe to see what they've worn in the past. And then I ask, do you want to continue in this vein right here? Do you want to be like this? Or do you want me to take you to a different direction right now? And maybe take you outside your box, you're outside your comfort zone a little bit, and make it out. The biggest thing I do, hypothetically, most of the time, is with attorneys and finance people, etc., is I tell them you can be conservative on the outside and you can have a party going on the inside. So, and nobody,
I don't.
you don't. But there are a lot of people who do, and they kind of get a fun out of that, knowing that inside they have that, and it's not something that people know, because the only way they know it is if you show it to somebody. So, that's how I take them outside the box and make it fun. And then I do the accent. So I do a colored buttonhole, and I do different colored buttons versus, something that's monochromatic. So, I do those kind of things, and, bit by bit, I take them to a different direction and help them look more trendy, more contemporary.
So we're going to go overtime here if you're willing to stay with us, because I got two more things I want to talk about. So you help people brand themselves.
I do.
Clearly, for me, I became that guy that was wearing blazers on stage that people wouldn't normally wear. And that created a shtick for me. I started wearing white sneakers on stage, or colored sneakers, and that became a part of my external brand, which then led them to say, wow, he looks different. So you have branded yourself from the get-go, and most people can't tell. You are wearing, what are you wearing around your neck?
I am wearing a measuring tape. And thanks to my wife, who goes to Joann's Fabrics all the time and looks for these, I have over 40 different colors, and they, basically I keep them in the car. I look at what I'm wearing, and I put on the measuring tape that matches the clothes I'm wearing that day. And I always wear the measuring tape. So if I go out and to an event, and I do a lot of that, I always wear a measuring tape, and people say, who's that guy with the measuring tape? They may not know my name, but they know the measuring tape. So it's the cheapest $2 branding, which is amazing. And it works. I mean, it's been great. It was weird at the beginning when I started it 10 years ago, to put this on, but people kind of looked at me weird. But now it's like, hey, I love that. How many colors do you have? And people always ask questions.
Love it. Two final questions. Number one, talk to us about pocket squares, which at one point were handkerchiefs. They are no longer meant to blow your nose. So talk to us about those who partake in, as Helen said, a unique men's accessory.
Right. So here we have my carousel of pocket squares right behind me. Pocket square in my pocket. I think, Steve, you have one. Do you have one in our jacket?
Yep. I just changed and I move it over, but I'm never without a pocket square.
So let's talk about pocket squares. So most guys are not.
This one has the one built in.
Yeah, that's it. So all my jackets come with a built-in pocket square. So in case you leave the house, if you get one, you always have one in your pocket. But the biggest thing is most guys are not wearing ties anymore. So you need to accent a little bit. So the easiest way to accent to have a pocket square. And the biggest thing to remember is never do matchy-matchy. If you are wearing a tie, don't wear a tie and a pocket square that look exactly the same. You want to do something that's a little different, change the pattern up. You want to stay in the same color scheme, but it's the easiest way to add a little pop to even a plain navy blazer, and make that work for you. It works for you, Steve. It works for me all the time, and I think it's the best accessory that's out there.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, I get comments all the time. Hey, I love that pocket square. It's an accent that really does make it work. Final question. So let's go back and ask the question to what would you say to the 25-year-old Bob Goldfarb?
I would say, interesting. So I would recognize the skill set that you have, and get educated. I've gone to so many seminars all my life. I mean, gone to, Zig Ziglar and Tommy, I forgot Tommy's last name, and John Maxwell and Tony Robbins. And I always learn. I always keep learning every day, because, as you say, we want to get 1% better every day. So, I continually learn. And I think that somebody who's starting in any occupation, I don't care if it's sales or anything else, you need to continuously learn about your world. You have to understand who your client is. You have to understand your product. That's the biggest thing, is know what you're selling, and be confident in that. And, just take all that and take your time. But you're not going to be an overnight success. It takes time to build that skill and work on it. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
As I knew you would be, a tremendous example of Huddler in the hot seat. I am super blessed to have you as a friend, Donna, as well. The more we hang out, the more I'm enjoying just, continuing to develop our friendship. So thank you for dressing me. Get me my tuxedo. Thank you for being here. For anybody listening today, if you want to up your game, the quickest way to do that is the book cover, because people do judge the book by the cover. So get out, look good, get some guidance. And Bob, thank you. Have an awesome weekend. Who you picking? I know who Donna's picking. She's from Kansas City. Who you picking this weekend?
I am going with the Chiefs because I got to back Donna, although I used to be a 49ers season ticket holder when I lived in Silicon Valley. I actually went to the Super Bowl when they beat the Broncos 55-10 in New Orleans. But I'm going to sway to my wife because I think it's the right thing to do, and go with the Chiefs.
So cool. So great. Love you, my friend. Have a great weekend.
You,
to everybody else, happy Super Bowl. Get your chips, get your dip, get your wings. Get ready to get in front of the TV. Should be a great game. I, too, am picking Chiefs. We'll see you Monday morning. We'll talk commercials. We'll talk strategy. We'll talk all kinds of stuff. But you can bet we will be here live in the Nudelberg Daily Huddle. Now let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down.